The government's three-day COVID-19 mass vaccination program kicks off today with top officials leading the event. A second round of the three-day inoculation drive is in the works in a bid to hit the country's vaccination target. The threat of the Omicron COVID-19 variant has prompted authorities to revisit travel policies. Fully vaccinated travelers from green list countries will not be allowed to enter the Philippines for the time being. The Commission on Elections is discounting the possibility of canceling the 2022 elections, even in the event of a COVID-19 surge by May next year. The poll body says postponement may be allowed depending on the situation per area. And in sports, the IATF has given the green light for the PBA to hold its Governors Cup next week. Focused and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. The government has kicked off its three-day nationwide vaccination drive in an effort to ramp up inoculations. Pat Mangune with the report.
President Duterte himself led the start of the three-day national vaccination campaign in Antipolo City. In his speech, he called on the public to cooperate in order to reach the target inoculation of 70% of the nationwide population. The three-day drive aims to administer 9 million shots in more than 8,000 vaccination sites all over the country. Some of the vaccination sites in Antipolo were designated to accept walk-ins and non-residents. That's why some residents from the towns of Cainta and Angono flocked to the Our Lady of Peace School Gymnasium to get vaccinated.
Dito po kasi mabilis yung proseso ng pagbabaksin. Siguro sa iba naman siguro ganun din pero mas siguro dito sa mabilis.
Dito po kami agad-agad kasi kailangan namin sa trabaho. Kapag walang vaccine, hindi kami pwedeng magtrabaho.
Health Secretary Francisco Duque III also visited the Marikina Sports Complex, the city's mega vaccination site. Duque himself administered Pfizer vaccines to some minors scheduled for pediatric vaccination today. Another three-day drive will be conducted on December 15 to 17 in order to complete the vaccination of 54 million Filipinos by year-end. The target vaccination had to be scaled down from 15 million to 9 million due to supply and logistical issues.
Some logistical issues, yung mga syringes ng ibang mga bakuna hindi dumating on time. So that is why we are planning for another round come December 15 to 17. So that we will be able to hopefully make up for the gap.
Health authorities reiterate that the vaccine paired with strict compliance to minimum health standards are the best protection against COVID-19. For News 5, Patricia Mangune, we are One News.
Countries are racing against time to control the spread of the Omicron COVID variant, which the World Health Organization has tagged as a very high global risk. Jen Kalimon reports.
The World Health Organization has sounded the alarm of another COVID-19 variant of concern, also known as the Omicron variant. The B.1.1.529 was first detected in South Africa on November 9. At least 161 cases of Omicron have been reported in 14 countries. Experts say it has a higher risk of reinfection than the other variants. Omicron also has a higher rate of mutation compared to other variants like Delta.
Pinakikita lang na yung iba't ibang mutations po ng Omicron base doon sa pagkakaalam nila sa mga mutations na to ay mayroong potential na mas maging transmissible.
However, experts say that COVID patients with the new variant have not shown unique symptoms. Omicron patients also experience common COVID symptoms such as fever and sore throat. At this point, there is no known age group that is most affected by the Omicron. But doctors warn that it could evade vaccine immunity.
Nakita naman natin na yung ibang mutations na ay may mga tawag natin posibleng epekto in our vaccine efficacy. Pero much like kung ano yung sintomas, anong epekto sa severity, pinag-aaralan pa ng ating experts.
NCF against COVID-19 advisor Dr. Ted Herbosa meanwhile raised the possibility that the variant cannot be detected through COVID-19 tests. The DOH wants local government units to shift to RT-PCR testing since the Philippine Genome Center cannot detect samples from antigen tests.
Bakit ba takot ang mga scientists dito sa variant na to? Sapagkat napakaraming changes doon sa code niya, no? Yung mRNA niya ay may 34 changes. Yung Delta po, 8 lang. 8 specific mutations lang. Ito, 34. So, ibig sabihin nun, pwedeng ma-miss ng PCR test.
For its part, the Gov't research group warns of a possible surge in early 2022.
If this variant is as destructive as it potentially is, and it somehow manages to get in our borders, we may be seeing a surge sometime around February or March heading into the election, and that would be unfortunate.
The Health Department is reminding symptomatic patients to report and isolate immediately, whether they are vaccinated or not. The DOH has also advised the public to observe minimum public health standards. Reporting for News 5, Jen Calimon, We Are One News.
The Philippines has added 7 more countries to its red list due to mounting concerns over the Omicron variant. Inbound foreign travelers from the following countries, regardless of their vaccination status, will not be allowed to enter the Philippines. Only repatriated Filipinos may be allowed to enter, subject to testing and quarantine protocols. The IATF has also suspended the resolution allowing the entry of fully vaccinated foreigners coming in from green list countries. Meanwhile, the palace clarified why Hong Kong, which has recorded a case of the new Omicron variant, is not part of the red list.
Hindi natin na red list ang Hong Kong. Yung pinaka-consideration natin for red listing countries is yung detection of a local case ng Omicron. Kapag imported po ang case, titingnan namin pinaigting ba nila o maganda ba ang ginagawa nila. We will not red list that country.
We're going to pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Commission on Elections is confident that the elections will push through in May of next year, even if a COVID-19 surge occurs. Spokesman James Jimenez says that polls will only be canceled in an area if all election officers test positive for the coronavirus. If that happens, elections can be rescheduled within 30 days. Jimenez also noted that on Election Day, the Comelec will not be requiring a vaccination card or a negative test result from voters.
Area cancellations are still possible, right? Isolated cases can be taken into consideration, but yung nationwide cancellation, unlikely.
Meanwhile, the Comelec has declared 82 presidential aspirants as nuisance candidates. Same goes for 12 candidates for vice president and 108 senatorial aspirants. Meanwhile, some 89 COCs have pending petitions for cancellation, including that of former Senator Bongbong Marcos and TV personality Raffy Tulfo. The Comelec is expected to announce the final list of candidates in December. In other news, the House of Representatives has approved on third and final reading the bill seeking to extend the validity of the 2021 national budget. With 168 affirmative votes, 6 negative, and no abstentions, Congress approved the bill that will extend the validity of this year's budget until December 31, 2022. This will allow government agencies to fully utilize the allocated budget for this year. Appropriations Committee Chairman Eric Yap said this will ensure that the intended beneficiaries of basic services are reached. Yap also said the pandemic brought disruptions that delayed many programs, projects, and activities that were funded under the 2021 budget. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The MMDA has brought back the number coding scheme this week, but only from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Exempted from the coding scheme are PUVs, ride-hailing services, motorcycle delivery services, garbage trucks, and delivery trucks. Formerly executives Lincoln Ong and Mohit Dargani are now detained at the Pasay City Jail after being cited in contempt by the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. The two underwent medical checkup before being turned over to the custody of jail officers. Dargani and Ong will remain in jail until they submit documents that have been subpoenaed by the Blue Ribbon Committee. And the PBA is set to return to action on December 8 after securing approval from the IATF. PBA Commissioner Willie Marshall said they are now in talks with LGUs to allow fans inside the venues. The first 2 games of the import-laced Governors Cup will be played at the Inares Arena in Pasig. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.